Empire. We're talking to the NFL's Rookie of the Year, looking back at his impressive first season, and a little discussion about what he's got on tap for an encore presentation. What's up, everybody? It's Mike Jones. Thanks for coming back for another episode of the Football Jones podcast. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. And yes, my guest is LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Coming off of his Rookie of the Year campaign, really was a surprise campaign. I mean, everybody knew he had talent, but he was not even slated to start for his team this year out the gates. It was going to be Tyrod Taylor. If you remember, week 2, before that game, Tyrod Taylor suddenly had a freak injury where he had a punctured lung from a shot that he had taken, received from the medical staff, and he was not able to play. And minutes before the game, Justin Herbert was thrust into the starting role, and he never looked back. Everybody had basically picked Joe Burrow to be the odds-on favorite to be Rookie of the Year. He did put up some impressive numbers, got hurt, though, during the season-ending ACL injury, and could not finish the year, missed a big chunk of the season. And Herbert, for the Chargers, wound up taking this honor and really had an impressive finish to the season. He was, definitely didn't play like a rookie for much of the year, but down the stretch of the season, they won 4 straight games. And so we're going to talk to Justin about that first year, about the importance of readiness when you don't know when your number is going to be called, but being ready, being prepared, and what he's got planned, how he's trying to strive for growth in year 2. So let's get to it right now. My talk with LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Here we are now with the NFL's Rookie of the Year, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. No problem. So you're coming off of a really great year, and I think people felt like you had a lot of talent, but I don't know if anybody could have anticipated that your year would have played out as prolifically as it did for people on the outside. Can you talk to me about what kind of expectations you had for yourself and what it was just like going through this season?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun and obviously a tough year, and we would have loved to have won a couple more games here and there. And we were in some close games that we felt like we could have been in, could have won. But it's an incredible team, an incredible staff, and just so excited and honored to be a part of the team and to keep getting better is our goal. And there's a lot to look forward to with this team.
Now, you obviously were very well prepared because even your first start came in a wacky, unexpected way with Tyrod, getting hurt, right before the start of that game. What was the key for you to being ready, even though you didn't have training camp, the regular kind of training camp for preseason, you didn't have OTAs? How did you go about being ready this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's to prepare as if you're the starting quarterback. And that's something that Coach Pep Hamilton and I, our quarterbacks coach, we worked on all the time. And we'd be out before practice, after practice, walking through the plays, walking through footwork, mechanics, everything that you can think about, so that if and when I did have to go in, I'd be ready. And he told me, Justin, we don't really know when it's going to happen. Whether it's week 1 or week 17, you don't know, but you need to be ready each week. And so we prepared and we watched film like I was the starting quarterback. And it just happened to be week 2 that I went in.
Now, what was the biggest difference early on that you noticed about the way things were run in the NFL compared to college?
I think the biggest difference had to be the speed of the game. There are things in the NFL that you can't get away with that you can in college. And you find out you can't make throws and you can't scramble out of the pocket quite like you could college. But it happened pretty early in fall camp where I threw a screen pass to, I think, Justin Jackson, and Melvin Ingram just jumped up one-handed, picked it off. And I think that's kind of when I realized that the speed of the game is a little different here.
Now you obviously have to be a pretty quick learner. Because the way you played showed that you were able to make quick adjustments. Is that something that's always been, or was there a point in your career where you learned how to adapt and adjust pretty quickly?
I think that kind of ties in with academics. And my parents instilled a good value of academics for my brothers and I when we were younger. And I think being able to kind of study and know what works best for you and apply it to football and apply it to a playbook, I feel like you're able to pick it up quicker. And so we've been able to do that and to be able to study and see all the plays, formations. I think that's been really helpful for me.
What was your favorite subject in school growing up?
It was biology. So both my dad and my grandfather were biology teachers. And so that's just something that always interested me.
Okay, gotcha. What was it? What did you find fascinating about it?
It just explained how everything worked. Everything you see around you has a reason. And whether it's how you breathe or whether how your cells work together, I thought it's always been really interesting.
I don't know that a whole lot of, football players would name biology as a favorite subject. Do you come across many guys that share that kind of love for it?
There were actually a couple of guys at Oregon that I spent a lot of time with. Calvin Throckmorton, who he's going to be a doctor after he's done playing football. We had a bunch of classes together and just kind of hung out. And I always thought that was a cool opportunity for us.
Gotcha. So when you're learning how things work and everything like that, how did that help you as you tie football and understanding why the offensive line does this or the defense and all the kinds of your responsibilities as a quarterback?
Well, yeah, I think you bring up a great point. You understand why it's happening, why they're doing that, why certain teams play certain fronts, why they bring these pressures, and you get an understanding of that. And I think the more you have of that, I think the better you are equipped to play quarterback position. And when you're up at the line of scrimmage, it needs to be so quick. It just needs to be understood immediately. There's no time to sit back and just think. You have to react. And the more you know, the more you go out there and understand at that time. So I think that's been super important.
Now, as a quarterback, you have to be a leader. What was it like being thrust into a leadership role while you're still, kind of trying to find your way at the same time?
I thought it was a lot of fun. We've got an incredible team, an incredible locker room. And I went in there and all those guys were so welcoming and awesome and nice. And so that made it a lot easier. And especially being a part of an offense with so many weapons as Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, those guys are the best. And so they made my job so much easier this year.
And obviously you're going against some really, really talented pass rushers. I imagine that kind of helps you prepare as well for what you're seeing on game days.
Yeah, especially with Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. It's a crazy defense, and it's been so much fun and so competitive during practice. And I know this year they made us so much better.
What do you think when you reflect? What was your toughest moment that you had to work your way through during this rookie season?
Yeah, the toughest moment would have been losing at home to the Patriots, getting shut out, because that's obviously a tough way to lose, and you never really want to lose at home like that, yet alone lose like that. But for us to come back, put 4 in a row like that, and win out at the end of the season, I was really proud of the way the guys battled back.
Now, do you remember before that the last time you had gotten shut out?
I don't. I don't think it's ever happened.
Uh-huh. So how did you kind of work your way through that as you went home that night, the next morning? How did you get that out of your system?
That's just one of those things that you have to move on past, and adversity is going to happen. And you're going to throw interceptions and incompletions, and it's all about the next play, the next drive, the next series, the next game. And obviously super tough. And that Sunday night was not fun at all. But you get to wake up Monday morning, you get to watch the film, you get to move on, you get to go run and lift, you get to show back up to practice, and you get to go play for another week. And I thought that's just an incredible opportunity for us.
Now, you learn that the NFL is a business, and, there's a reason why they say it stands for not for long. What was it like just going through a coaching change and the uncertainty, waiting to find out who your new head coach was going to be? And, obviously you learned a lot from all the guys that you worked under as a rookie. And then now you're starting a new chapter with different guys. What is that like?
It's a tough situation. I was really close with the previous coaching staff and Coach Lynn and Coach Steichen, Pep Hamilton. They made a big investment on me, and I'm so thankful for them. And I've learned so much about the game and more than just the game with them. So it's going to be tough moving on past them, but I'm really looking forward to this coaching staff that we're bringing in with Coach Staley, Coach Lombardi. They're really smart guys. They're energetic, and they're exciting. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Before we move on to Staley, I just want to, how would you describe Pep Hamilton? He's a guy that I think gets overlooked a little bit, but everybody that I've talked to who's worked with him really values his gifts.
Yeah, he's about as smart as they come. He knows so much about the game, about the quarterback position, and whether that's from a play calling standpoint, that's quarterback coach. He knows so much, and so just being able to work with him and kind of talk about defenses, he really taught me a lot about the NFL.
Gotcha. Now going into to Coach Staley, I know you guys haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time together yet, but what's he like? Because I know he's a young guy. He's had an unconventional path to being a head coach. Coaching in D3 and all kinds of just untraditional type of route. But what's it like talking to him, and what do you expect playing for him?
He's been awesome so far. I've been able to meet with him a couple of times, and he's a defensive coach, but he's also played quarterback, and so he kind of knows both sides of the ball. And whether I want to talk to him about defense or offense, he's got a great feel for the game. And so I think that's one of the best aspects of it, is of having a coach that has done both. You get him to be able to coach everything.
Yeah, so he's a former quarterback, for people who don't know, right? But he's a defensive guy. So to see defenses through a quarterback's mind, that's got to help you once you guys get in those planning meetings, I imagine.
It's super helpful. And I think that's maybe a big reason of why he's such a great defensive coach, is he's been able to see it through a quarterback's lens. I think that especially helps me as well, being able to go to him and ask him questions, because there's no one better to ask.
What are a few areas that you feel like you really want to focus on this off season? Because I know you've got to learn a new system, but off season's about preparation and growth to lay that foundation so you can make a leap in year two. So what are some of those aspects?
Yeah, I think the two biggest ones are learning more about the game, and then also mastering the playbook. And so we're going to be getting a new playbook here in the next couple of weeks. And as soon as I can master that and feel comfortable with it, and know that if I'm at the line of scrimmage and I need to get to a different play, I'm able to do that. And I think those two kind of go hand in hand, and seeing coverages, pressures, and being able to flip, adjust plays. I think that's the next step of the game.
Now, once you have a full body of work on film, those defensive coordinators are picking your game apart this offseason. So what do you do to kind of combat the new wrinkles that you expect they're going to throw at you this coming year?
To watch as much film as you can, get better, keep working on your footwork, mechanics, because there's so much more room for improvement, and making sure that I take care of my body, do all these things, so that if I keep doing my best, keep working hard, good things will happen.
Now, I know that you don't play for individual accolades, but to get Rookie of the Year, I imagine had to mean something to you. What was your response to getting that?
I think it meant a lot to our team. I think it's a team award, and I wouldn't have been there without our offensive line, our receivers, tight ends, running backs, the guys that made my job so much easier. I don't think our offensive line gets nearly enough credit as they deserve. And I think we had some weapons in Keenan, Mike, Hunter, Egg. I've talked about it before, that I think they're the best in the world, and it's been an honor to be their teammate.
So as you get awards and you have success, you're recognized. Now you're a representative for Flag and Anthem. Can you just talk about what it's like being an ambassador for that apparel line?
Well, it's been an awesome experience so far. They believed in me from the beginning, and we met actually back during the NFL draft, and to be able to work with them now is a great opportunity. And they're a startup brand, so it's something I'm really excited about, that we can build and grow with over time. And joining a pretty incredible team with Christian McCaffrey and Dirks Bentley. So just to be in those names, it's an incredible honor.
Yeah, so I was checking out the site. You got a good fashion sense there. Is that something that they've helped you, or did it kind of fit with your style when you saw what they were rolling out?
Well, I think the best part is that it's kind of fit my style, and it's comfortable, and I'm able to wear it when I'm not on the field. And so whether it's in my house, whether it's outside, fishing, hiking, whatever, it's comfortable. And so they've done a great job of kind of customizing some stuff. And I'm really looking forward to making some extended sizing clothing as well, because I know that's something that we're going to do in the near future too.
Yeah, because, big guys, I mean, you're like, what, 6'6", 6'5", something like that. So to find some fashionable stuff for you guys can be kind of challenging, right?
It can be a little tough. And so I think they've done a great job of kind of building around me and finding some stuff that fits. And, whatever we create in the next couple of weeks, I'm really excited to wear it.
Have you done any kind of design before that? And what are you thinking about the opportunity to have input on the fashion industry?
This will be my first time, and so being able to work with them and kind of talk about it, it's been a great experience, and I get to really tell them, and they get to talk to me. So it's been a flow of information that I think has really been helpful for both sides.
To be one of the first guys right there along with Christian McCaffrey, and what's that like? I mean, I don't know. He's a guy who's a big deal, and here you are just coming into the NFL to be an ambassador with him. What's that mean to you?
It means a lot to me. And, I've watched both those guys so much, and I've been such a big fan of Dirk Stanley and Christian McCaffrey. And so even to be in the same conversation as them is a huge honor to me. And, I'm really excited to maybe meet up with them, talk with them, and just kind of talk about football, flag and anthem, whatever it is, because they're both really good guys.
Now your teammates asking you for hookups already yet?
Not yet, but I'm sure that's coming in the next couple of weeks.
Good deal. So give us a quick outline of just what your off season looks like between now, and I know we don't know yet about when you guys can get on the field for spring and everything like that, but what do you plan on doing for the rest of the off season?
Yep. So I kind of took a month off, kind of let my body relax, get my body back. But now I'm back down in Southern California, running, lifting, and I'll start throwing here in the next couple of weeks. So it's a lot of watch the playbook, watch as much film as I can, do things like that. And so I'm ready when the season comes.
So are you watching yourself? Or are you watching other quarterbacks? What is that film study like?
It'll be a little bit of both. I think if we can review last season, and I think if we could also watch some of the Saints playbook, because that's where our offense is coming from. So just getting a good feel for that and being able to move forward with that.
Well, Justin, I know you're busy. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me, and good luck to you going forward.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, no problem.
All right, thanks to Justin Herbert there for his time. Going to be interesting to see what year 2 looks like for him and how his profile continues to grow. As we talked about there, he's a representative for flag and anthem. Him, Christian McCaffrey, young faces from the NFL, repping that apparel line. So you might start seeing some Justin Herbert on some ad campaigns coming to you pretty soon. It'll be interesting to see. New coach, new coaching staff. I really had felt like keeping Pep Hamilton was going to be big for his growth. They did not retain him, but now he's got a different coaching staff. Everybody speaks very highly of Brandon Staley, his new head coach. We'll see how things pan out there. But obviously, Justin's a pretty smart kid. Seems like he's got it all figured out as far as what he needs to do to grow. And now it's a matter of putting all the action into motion there. Another thing that we'll be keeping an eye on Tuesday, which is the day that this is taped here, is the start of the franchise tag window that the teams in the NFL basically have 2 weeks to decide what players they want to use the franchise tag on so they don't lose them to free agency for any compensation, with lack of compensation. Now, you can still use the tag and then wind up trading them, but most of the time when you put a tag on somebody, it's because you want to keep them. Obviously, the guy with all eyes on him is Dak Prescott with the Cowboys. Will they tag him again here? Jerry Jones messed this thing up. Should have given him a long-term deal 2 years ago. Did not want to open up the checkbook, and now he's paying for it. He's going to have to pay a lot of money here. I would not be surprised, though, if Dak does not do business with Jerry and plays on the tag 1 more year, then goes somewhere else, kind of like what we saw Kirk Cousins do a couple years ago. Other guys of note that probably could be candidates for their teams, Matthew Judon for the Baltimore Ravens, Allen Robinson, wide receiver for the Bears. There's not a whole lot of big names. There are few, though. Kenny Galladay from the Lions, Aaron Jones from the Packers. We shall see. Obviously, teams would rather work out long-term deals with these guys so they don't have to use the franchise tag because it's all guaranteed and such a big cap hit. But sometimes you can't avoid it. And in the case of Dak Prescott, it might be their best bet, and it probably is the route that they're going to have to go there. But we will see. Thanks again for listening. Again, you can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. Do me a favor, take this and share this with your friends. Post it on social media, whatever. let's just get some more people on board here. And thanks a lot. I will talk to you guys again next time.